What's up, guys? It's JBoy here, and today I'm bringing you a review and kind of is it worth it. I'm doing a Scuf controller review. I've been using it for about 2 months now, so I know the pros and cons of the controller, and also is it worth it. And this is completely unbiased. I'm nowhere near sponsored by them or anything like that. This is my honest opinion on the controller and if I particularly like it or not, and if it's the right controller for you. Now let's start. Is the Scuf controller worth it? In my eyes, I would say yes, because it really did improve my game. I went from being a bit of an avid gamer to just becoming a better gamer all around. It meant I wasn't losing as many gunfights, because as I come around the corner I can either jump or I could drop shot in time, and that would obviously put the enemy off slightly. Because if you come around a corner, I don't know if anyone's ever done it to you before, but when you come around a corner, if someone drops down underneath you and you've got 2 bullets in them or something, and they can get maybe 4 in before you've got enough time to get down and get some bullets in them, they're obviously going to win the gunfight, and you're obviously not going to be able to win the gunfight. And obviously same with a jump shot. If you use the walls to your advantage, jump shotting is very useful. If you sort of just glitch around the corner, you can see if they're there, and then you can jump right around the corner and lock your shot straight on, and you'll be able to get bullets in before they've even seen you. Because by jumping around the corner, you could probably maybe get 4, maybe 5 bullets in them before they've even noticed, and by then they're dead. And my second part is a Scuf controller right for you? It really does depend on how much gaming you do. If you're just above average, sort of decent at the game, thinking that I'm okay at the game, but I'm not really like aiming to get better and better at it, this controller will improve your game. But if you're only sort of decent at the game, then it's not really worth the money you're going to be paying for it, because you think you're paying hundreds of pounds for a controller, and at the end of the day you've got to remember it is still a controller. And if just a controller is what you want, a Scuf controller isn't that, because it gives you so much more. So yeah, like I was saying, it really depends on how much gaming you're doing. If you're like really good at the game, you're scrimming, you're playing 8s all the time, and you really feel like you're at a disadvantage because you're not getting them shots on when these other players are just jumping out at you and things like that, then yes, you do need to change over to a Scuf controller to get that extra piece of performance. The other thing is my actual controller itself and what it does, and basically my sort of review on it. My controller is the Team Prophecy edition of this Scuf controller. It's blue with the Prophecy Scuf badge in the middle. It's just a normal Scuf controller. Basically, it's got Scuf grip on the back, and that is really, really good. I do advise getting that if you get it. Obviously, some people say, oh, well, your hands don't sweat that much when you're playing anyway, so it's not really worth getting it, but I'd say it is worth getting it. I don't have trigger stops. A Scuf controller comes free with hair triggers, which I think is so much more better, because you can adjust the triggers in then to how much you want. Like, how can I explain? Like, basically you can adjust the controller in so it sort of gets rid of the dead zone you have. Because I don't know if you ever pull in your, if you pull in your trigger really slowly, eventually you'll feel it will pick up and then respond to it. But it like travels. It reduces the travel on your trigger. And something else that it comes with is it comes with a no slow turn, they call it, which is basically on your analog sticks you have dead zones where basically it will turn really slowly for about the first few millimeters, and then afterwards it will go into full rotation. Well, it basically means it moves a little bit faster in them ones, so you could jump on someone and turn onto them, or drop onto someone and still be able to rotate around. If they've got a normal Xbox controller, they've got to do that little bit of travel when you haven't got to do that, so you'd be rotating quicker and things like that. What else have we got on here? So yeah, I didn't really get a chance to talk through what I had in my controller. Like I was saying, it's a Team Prophecy edition. I've got paddle on the back, they're wired up to A and B. I run on normal default controller configuration, so A and B is my jump and my drop shot. And there is one complaint I've got to say about this controller. So this is the cons of the controller. I had the controller possibly 3, maybe 4 weeks, and my paddle broke for my jump. And one of my mates' ones has just happened to them as well. Their A paddle is broken, or that's the one in your left hand side if you just had it wired up to something else. And yeah, so both of our controllers have broken in like a matter of weeks of having them. So yeah, that's the one thing I've got to say. The paddles on the back aren't the best quality, but other than that, they're really good. Thumbsticks are really good. Yeah, so what I actually think of this controller, well, I don't know what to say. It's amazing. I've had it for, like I was saying, 2 months now, I reckon, and my game has changed completely. In these 2 months, I saved up. I got a BenQ and I got the Astros and the Scuf controller all ran about the same time, and I've become a completely different player. I went from being sort of semi-decent at the game to being sort of in the top 80% of the game now. Obviously, there's still people out there who still beat me, but I still haven't really learnt the game fully yet. There's still things that I need to learn inside of the game to obviously improve my performance, but that's my performance issues, not the controllers. The controller is absolutely fantastic. I would advise anyone to get it. Just obviously be cautious that the controller paddles are very delicate, so don't start pulling them around a bit. That was what I did. I kept feeling like it was rubbing on the side slightly, so I kept trying to pull it across, and I think eventually that's what broke it. But at the moment, mine's just being held on by a bit of sellotape, and it's working fine. In fact, I prefer it with this sellotape on it. And so yeah, this has been JBoy here, giving you a Scuf controller, sort of Scuf controller review / is it worth it. I'm not even sure what I'm going to put the title down as, but that's basically it. And this has been JBoy signing out.